All set, Jerry?
Yeah, I'm all set.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and any most welcome guests out there. How many of you have heard of Picard syndrome? No? Well, I'm not surprised. It's a relatively new condition. It was coined in 2003 by a writer. This writer was a regular viewer of the television show Star Trek: The Next Generation. In that show, the captain of the Starship Enterprise is none other than Captain Jean-Luc Picard. Now, Jean-Luc Picard is living in the 24th century. Can you imagine the technological advances we'll see over the next 3 centuries? But Captain Picard had a peculiar habit, a passion that made him appear eccentric. You see, Captain Picard, whenever he had the opportunity to read a book, preferred paper books. The one that Captain Picard is holding here happens to be the complete works of William Shakespeare, illustrated no less. Approximate weight about 35 pounds. Now you may ask, why doesn't Captain Picard use electronic books? It's the 24th century. Well, today I'm going to tell you how ebooks can be appreciated, but also how classic paper books can also be appreciated. I'm going to do that by telling you 4 reasons why I appreciate ebooks, and I'm going to tell you 4 reasons why I appreciate classic books. To the point that I believe that I will never suffer completely from Picard syndrome. I will never forsake ebooks totally for paper books. I'm going to start by discussing with you ebooks. I'm currently reading a book on my tablet. And this is a tablet, not an e-reader. My wife has the Kobo. I happen to have a Samsung Galaxy. And the book that I'm reading right now is called Revolution in the Valley. It was written by the systems programmer of the original Macintosh computer. So it is a book about the creation of the Macintosh. Really cool book. It's fitting that I'm reading it on a tablet. Maybe it should be on an iPad. But I've got my own reasons for buying an Android-based system. So let me tell you why I prefer e-readers. First of all, the convenience of shopping for a book. It's so cool to be able to sit at my kitchen table, browse the bookstore, and I use Kobo, by the way, browse the bookstore, find a book that I'm interested in, and immediately order it and have it appear in front of me so that I can start reading it right away. Huge advantage. Sometimes when I go to the bookstore, they're sold out of the book that I want, which doesn't make me very happy. So that's one big advantage. Another advantage that I like about my tablet, and e-readers don't necessarily have this, I know because my wife has a Kobo e-reader, but my tablet has this ability, it is backlit, meaning I don't need a light source to read. I can go into a dark room and still read, or more, in tune with what I like to do, I like to camp. And when I'm sitting outside the trailer at night, I don't have a light source, but I can still read. Better yet, this has a night mode. I can invert it, so it's a dark background with light text, so it's easier on the eyes reading at night. The other thing that's really cool about ebooks is the pictures. This happens to be the main board on the Macintosh computer. It's color. You generally don't see color pictures in books. And not only is it in color, it's in context. What do I mean about that? This page is talking about the main board on the Macintosh, so the picture is there. If you look at pictures that are in a classic paper book, if they happen to have pictures, they tend to come out like this. They're printed on different paper, glossy paper, they're black and white, and they're clumped together in the middle of the book, and they're not in context with the text. So I don't appreciate that as much. Now, the huge advantage of ebooks over paper books. When I travel, I take books. My wife says, why do you take all those books? Well, I don't know which book I'm going to want to read while I'm traveling. So I will pack 5 or 6 and maybe get to 2 of them. Well, you can imagine just taking these 2 books in my luggage as opposed to putting them on this device. Or 50 books, or 100 books, or 1,000 books. As many books as I want, I have access to, either stored on the device or wherever I can connect to the internet and shop for another book. Huge advantage. But let's talk about the classic books. I bought that tablet on Boxing Day, so I've had it for about 4 months. I received this book on Christmas Day, and I was given this book earlier this year. I've read both of these books. I've read 2 books on my tablet, and I'm currently reading the book that I mentioned to you. So I've had a grand opportunity to compare the 2 types of books. What do I like about the classic paper book? First of all, no battery. It's always on. See? It's on. No, it's not off. It's still on. It's always on. I never need power. The other thing that I like about classic paper books, as I said, this was given to me as a gift. This was given to me as a gift. It's much better than getting a gift certificate for a bag of electrons. I really appreciated seeing this under the Christmas tree. Not so much a gift certificate for an ebook. And besides that, you can't even really give the book that you want. It's just a certificate to get a book. The other thing I like about these types of books, I can't share the books that I purchased and put on this device with you. The digital management rights that are embedded in those books prevent that. Now, I understand that. If I could share it with everybody. But with this book, I enjoyed it. I know that you're interested in it. I can lend it to you. And the protocol dictates that when you read it and give it back to me, you and I can now have a discussion because I know that you read this book. You borrowed it and you handed it back. And the last thing that I like about paper books, the biggest advantage of all, it still works. It still works. They're robust. When I had a pool, I used to like to float around in the pool. Well, until Greenpeace would come try to save me, but that's another story. I would float around in the pool and enjoy reading a book. I would take that risk with this $8 paperback. I would not take the risk with my $500 tablet. So in conclusion, no, I don't suffer from Picard syndrome. I never will suffer from Picard syndrome. I will enjoy reading ebooks. I will still enjoy reading classic paper books. Just like the automobile never made the horse useless in a human world, just like television never made radio extinct, I don't believe that ebooks are going to make these extinct either. So beware. Ask yourself, will I be a sufferer of Picard syndrome? I suggest no. Enjoy the advantages of both. Mr. Toastmaster.